Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebstyle.
I am Charles Lewis, your internet marketing specialist.
Welcome back to another fun-filled edition. This is podcast number 217. 217.
Yeah, hold up.
As always, there is a tip from the previous podcast, and that tip is make your SEO life easier. Focus on three things: content, HTML code, and architecture.
Definitely. Anytime you want to focus on those three things, content, the code, and the architecture itself, you're really talking on-page SEO. And so these are the three things you want to do during any production process when you launch a site. Spend some time on that content. The content is what drives the search engines. The content is what the people who visit your site are going to absorb. That architecture is how those same people will navigate through your site, how they'll get to the videos, how they'll get to this content. And then, of course, the coding that makes up your site. Make sure it's compliant. Make sure that it's coded the correct way, right? The style sheets and things like that are configured correctly. That way your site will load faster and it'll rank well. So definitely those three core things are extremely important for on-page SEO.
And then you can kind of forget all the rest.
Yeah. Don't worry about any of the off-page link building and social media. Don't worry about none of that.
Call us. Because we have a referral program. If you have an SEO client and you send them to us and they're actually paying customers, you will get paid as well. Please remember, we are your friendly, local, neighborhood, top position snatchers.
Yes.
Where our mantra is,
Don't be a douche.
do not be a douche, please.
Yeah.
It is not a good look.
Especially like for the holidays.
Yeah. Douche-free holidays, please. Unless that's what you want to give us a gift, and you probably shouldn't. Wow, that would. If you can, tweet now. If you're in front of some form of device that allows you to do it, what should they tweet, Chuck?
Hashtag SEO podcast. This is number 217. Be sure to tag us in it at eWebstyle. That way we can follow you back and do all of our social stuff. Another reason you want to follow that Twitter at Best SEO Podcast and at eWebstyle is that way you can get a link to what we'll be discussing today. That way you can see the tips that we'll be coming out with as well. So hit us up.
Cool. There are other ways you can contact us and stalk us. Some of them are facebook.com/eWebstyle, youtube.com/eWebstyle. We'll cover it again. Twitter.com/eWebstyle. And you can also send us an email, podcast@e-webstyle.com. We always like to ask you a very small favor, by the way. It's one of those tricks I learned in some seminar I took. Never ask for a big favor, because it doesn't even matter what the favor is. Don't ask for a big favor. Always ask for a little favor. In fact, usually it's a little favor and the impact to you will be big, so ask for a little favor. Having said that, we're asking for a very little favor that will do us a huge amount of benefit.
Speaking of the word huge, I was going to say you can't ask for a big favor, but you can ask for a huge favor.
Huge favor. Please. So the three things that you could do are different ways to write a review. One of them has 3 steps. Go on to iTunes, create an account, write a review. If you choose to write a review, it doesn't matter what country you're in, please send us an email, podcast@e-webstyle.com,
and
we will give you a patoof. If you're a new listener,
in the face.
That's a punch in the face.
And that's a good thing.
The other thing that you can do for us is go to our G Plus local page and write a review on our G Plus local page.
Yeah.
And we've made it very easy to get to our G Plus local page. The way you do that is you go to e-webstyle.com/G
Plus.
There's actually 4 ways to do it. The second way is go to e-webstyle.com/G
Plus.
Or you can go to e-webstyle.com/Google
Plus.
And finally, e-webstyle.com/Google
Plus.
We've made it easy. You can use a symbol or write out plus, and it'll automatically forward you to our G Plus local page. Have we said that enough?
I think so.
Yeah. Please write a review. 5-star review. Actually, we've got some reviews. None of them on G Plus local. We've got one from iTunes that we'll be covering shortly, and one on Facebook. You can also, the third one that I mentioned earlier, you can write a review on our Facebook page. There's 2 ways. When you get onto our Facebook page, again, facebook.com/eWebstyle, right under the first thing on the right column, which I forget what it's called, there's a place for reviews.
Tabs.
Tabs,
discussion about.
Well, no, so there's 2.
Reviews.
We've got 2 now. There's review. We got a reviews tab, and then I think there's a default way to review any business, and it's built into the structure, right? And it's right under like what people recently said about you, or people who also like you, or something like that. And right there, you can write a review. Write them in both. You know, if you're on the Facebook page, go ahead and do that, please. Remember, you can get a free website analysis, e-webstyle.com. You'll find our form, I promise you, on the old site or the new site, which will be coming soon. And I think we've covered everything. Let's do a little bit of news, and then we'll do reviews. We'll kind of switch it up. Resonance is actually it's a marketing tool for a particular type of technology. You know how you can set your phones and your rechargeable devices on a mat and they'll recharge? It's inductive or magnetic resonance. So there's a kind of agglomeration of companies have come together, and they're really trying to push forward one of those technology, well, one brand of that technology, hoping that this kind of lightning bolt Z will be actually on devices and things like that.
No, that is resonance compatible or whatever it is.
Exactly. And because there's 3 competing technologies. Some of them, and I haven't seen these yet, are already in Starbucks and McDonald's and stuff. I don't know if that's in the U.S. or where. So, man, I have one challenge with this. Whether there's a device on there. So we all know when you plug something into the wall, right, your transformer, it's always sucking juice, right? It sucks a lot less juice when you don't have a device connected to it, but it's sucking juice.
Yeah, on.
I think the inductive ones and the magnetic resonance ones suck a lot more juice when they're not doing anything.
Because they're doing a lot more while they're not doing anything.
And they're significantly less efficient. Yeah, they're less
How
efficient.
ironic is that? We're doing a lot more
while we're doing nothing. Yeah, we're just increasing your bill and, you know, whatever. I'm not the biggest green person. I also just don't think you should waste in general when you have other options. So I'm not convinced about that. There's a cool thing on Kickstarter. I just thought this was cool. So you know how, you know, what's one of the main uses of your phone? We got to exclude the phone because that's obviously as a phone.
That's not even the main use.
Yeah, exactly. What's the next main use?
We're gonna talk social media today. That's 70% of it.
And social media. What's next?
GPS.
GPS. Yeah, that's right. And one more.
Email.
One more.
No, using the phone. Oh, taking pictures.
Taking
okay,
pictures,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Which is
that's
social.
probably higher than GPS.
And it's in there with social, right? Because it's a big. I mean, frankly, it's my belief that it's one of the reasons Facebook really took off. They were first ones to really embrace mobile with their pictures and not being able to upload pictures. Anyway, this Kickstarter, and for those of you who don't know, Kickstarter is a place where you can do crowdfunding. So you have a great idea, you post the project, and you say, I need $20,000 to make this project real. You go ahead and you know, donate at these different levels or commit to these different levels. When I hit my $20,000 mark, the project will actually become active, and for each level, I'm going to give you something back. You know, and in this case, what you would get is a cover for your iPhone that actually has a ring of light around it. So you know, now you're taking photos. You go out to a club.
Like a
photos suck at the club.
It's not enough lighting.
And
so like a iPhone case with LED lights on it.
Well, so it's and they're covered with kind of, you know how when you see a photographer, they don't just have
it got the
bright
filter
lights. It's got
like
a clear plexiglass filter around it. So I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
There's a supercomputer. You know, supercomputers do all sorts of modeling, right? So they'll model the weather, they'll model hurricanes, they'll model, which is weather.
Yeah.
if you weren't paying attention, they'll model earthquakes, they'll model tsunamis, all that stuff. I was going to say typhoons, but that's also tsunamis.
Yeah. Which is also weather.
Yeah. So there's one. The Chinese supercomputer's job is to forecast smog. Like the pollution in the city is so bad, you've got this.
We got a computer that has the forecast.
Whose job it is to forecast smog. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. And finally, this has a little artistic flair to it. Really cool. I found a video where
China has more users than Facebook. I mean, has more population is bigger than Facebook users.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
The population is just insane. Like the number of cities in China that have more than 1 million of population is like more than the number of cities in the States. Something like that. That's an exaggeration, please. We don't need an email correcting me on how wrong I actually am. Anyway, so last thing, this video, they took molten aluminum, which is just cool anyway,
Yeah,
right?
liquid. That's
Yeah,
Terminator
super
2
high,
guy.
yeah. They poured it in an anthill,
Uh-huh.
right? So it takes all these crevices, it takes the shape of all the crevices in it, solidifies, then they dig it up. It's a piece of art.
Yeah, it's an anthill. Wow, aluminum
It's
anthill
really
with a whole
cool.
bunch of tunnels and stuff.
It is really cool. So go check that out. All right, let's get our reviews out of the way.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I don't remember who we need to punch in the face. Go back and listen to a couple of podcasts ago that gave us the idea. Actually, it was 2 listeners who gave us the idea of the software that you're using in order to.
Comic Cast.
Yeah, we had a challenge. In order to see the reviews in other countries in iTunes, you had to select that country. 2 of our listeners found a software that will allow us to see all the reviews that have been written about the door. That have been written about our podcast, and so that's how we're reviewing. I don't have to go like Canada, UK, whatever. So here we go. This is thumbs up from sharktechnology.ca. 5 stars.
Punch in the face.
Punch in the
Appreciate it.
face. So Shark Jacob from Canada, he says, this podcast is a gold mine, which I don't know if you know, that's actually the title of the music, our intro music, is actually Gold Mine. For anyone who's looking to improve their site. I'm a half expert SEO, and still it's amazing to stay up and focus on your project. I have to go down to Texas to grab a cold one. Yeah. Thumbs up, guys. He left me out again. Take care and thanks again.
Punch in the face to you, dude.
Yeah. Thank you so
Shark
much.
Jacob.
And Shark Technology, it's a web. I went there. It's just a landing page right now. It's in French and English. Cool. That's, Oh Canada. I don't know any more of that song, which is the national anthem of Canada. It's not just that song. And next we got from Adam Moffat, and this was on our Facebook page, again, facebook.com/
eWebStyle.
and he says he's got long and involved and in-depth. He almost has more exclamation marks than words. It's a good job, guys.
Appreciate it. Punch in the face to you. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, and that is the end of the potatoes. Now let's get into the meat of the podcast.
The meat will be pretty fun today. I figured it's the end of the year, it's the holidays. I came across this post on Search Engine Journal by Albert Costel. It says 25 insane social media facts. And so I was like, okay,
yeah,
I
that's
got
cool.
through the first
I like
4 or
that.
5 of them. I was like, these are pretty awesome. I began tweeting them out, and I immediately scratched the other content I plan on bringing you guys today to present this. I thought it was that good. And so now before we even get to the first 25, the third sentence in his article says, today, teenagers are interacting with their grandparents via social media. Man, this is so true.
It's
All right.
Facebook, though, right?
Facebook.
We had that discussion probably 4 podcasts ago where the teenagers aren't using Facebook as much anymore, if at all,
Unless to talk to grandma. I
Yep.
mean, my 13-year-old daughter. She got me with it all the time. I do random phone checks.
Right, right.
And as I'm going through the phone, I noticed your Facebook usage went down. Oh yeah, Dad, I only use that to talk to Granny. And when he hit it right on the head here. I know she's not the only one. So just thought that was interesting. So number 1, this is kind of cool. The first online bulletin board forum where multiple people could post was put online in February 1978. What was you doing in 1978?
1978. Wow, I think I was in Taiwan actually with my parents. My dad was in the Air Force, so I was going wherever they took me.
1978, I wasn't here.
Yeah.
I wasn't here till 1979. So there are over 10 million Facebook apps.
Wow.
I
Wow.
know. That just seems like a lot, doesn't
That
it?
just means that there's like 9,999,000 useless apps
Exactly.
on Facebook.
Exactly. So this is interesting from a marketing perspective. The fastest growing demographic on Twitter is the 55 to 64 year age bracket.
Is that maybe because they're losing their memory and so they want to communicate in shorter?
You know what I think? I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I think it's because 55 to 6-year-olds, these are baby boomers.
Right.
These are business owners who are getting into social media marketing.
Because they have
Because
to.
they
Because
have to.
Yeah.
And these are clients like us who come to us, and now I have to go and curate them a Twitter profile. And so I think that I can't, because my mom won't use it. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't see her or anybody in her circle just using Twitter
it,
just to be tweeting.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
It's like a broad-based communication program. And so unless you're a public figure or need to be doing broad-based communication, you're probably not going to use Twitter.
Exactly. Let's see here. 93% of marketers are using social media. However, only 9% have full-time bloggers. I understand this. I get this. Because content creation is an issue. Whether you outsource it, whether you write it yourself, or whether you pay somebody locally to do it. Content is an issue. And I think a lot of businesses don't understand the power and the necessity for having quality content on their site, which is why they don't have full-time bloggers.
So that means they're doing it themselves, right? I mean, that's a reality.
Well, I think that means that they're not 90. They're just they're doing social media themselves.
Social media themselves, and
And only 9% of them actually have a team that's doing it, and probably somewhat effective.
You know, I'm listening to Duct Tape Marketing. I'm sure you've seen it. It's been advertised heavily. And one of the things it talks about is actually hiring a journalist. Almost no matter what kind of business you are, to create that kind of link-bait content. You know, you need a journalist who can do research and make contact and potentially interview people, and then put together a great, strong
who can
article.
write it extremely well and make sure it's readable and legible and
addresses your audience, right?
Exactly,
and uses your voice,
speaks the right language, and has the right things involved with it. That's important. Like, content is so important, especially in a post-Panda sort of Google era. Content is extremely important. Let's see here. Number 5, food is the top category in Pinterest. Haven't been on Pinterest in a while, but last time I was on there, I was pinning recipes. So that makes sense. Check this out.
Vacation spots, right? Whenever I don't go to Pinterest very often, but when I'm kind of scanning through something, there's something about like a crystal blue water. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta check that out.
With me, it's retail. I have boards set up for food and for shoes. And so, like, they got these Gamma Blues. Note to anybody watching who happens to know what they want to get Chuck for Christmas, write this down. Gamma Blue 11s. They come out on December 21st. They're going to probably be $175, and they limited edition. I'm gonna be, we talked about people waiting in line for like iPhone. I will probably be
waiting in phone.
Man, at Champs at 6 in the morning, waiting in line for those Jordans. And I ain't done that since high school.
Wow.
And so, Gamma Blue.
So
11s.
there's a cheaper gift that you could give Chuck. You just give it early. It's called a tent. Or maybe a comfortable chair and a heater. And a long extension cord.
I know. And I'm trying to convince my son. I'm going to drop you off. I'll be back, and when I show up, I even have breakfast.
So you're like making up things that he's done wrong. So look,
I'm trying to.
You
want a
should
pair
not
too.
have come home so early. I'm gonna have to punish you, and that's 10 minutes in line.
No, that's like overnight in line.
Well, you got to build them up, right? There's another 10 minutes in line. There's, you're just overnighting.
No, I'm gonna make it plain, Chris. How bad you want them, dog?
Yeah.
You want a pair too, right? Yeah. You gotta put in the work. All right, let's see here. Here's a good one. 23% of Facebook users check their account at least 5 times a day.
Yeah, I would
make about sense.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many people.
It's such a I go there to go to our main page, and
it
was on my old page, and I'm like on my personal page. I'm like, okay, I'll scroll a little bit. Wow,
yeah,
amazing.
10 minutes ago, you're like, damn. Yeah,
I don't have time for that.
4.2 billion people access social media sites via mobile devices.
Okay, yeah.
Makes sense.
4.2
billion using via mobile devices. Now, interesting, 189 million Facebook users are mobile only.
Wow. Oh, that's billion. That's why I was. Wow.
Yeah, 4.2 billion.
Crazy.
Yo, I mean, which makes sense. You think about all the people, we were just talking about that, Let's see here.
I just got my sister-in-law online. She actually signed up for Facebook a year ago, but it was never on her phone.
Now it's on her
put
phone.
It on her phone. She's using it.
Yep.
Yeah.
60% of Google Plus users log in at least once a day. This is about right. Maybe once a week.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to get there, but let's see here. We'll skip through all some of these. Despite having a lower percentage of users than Facebook, Twitter, and G+, Pinterest, 2 new members join LinkedIn every second.
Wow. Yeah.
Every
Well, LinkedIn
second,
is
so-
the industrial social network, so
So like 6 people since I just said that.
yeah.
2 people every second.
Hey, make sure you connect with me.
Yeah. 80% of all Pinterest pins are actually repins.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Wow. There are 58 million tweets per day, with 9,100 happening every second.
Whoa. 9,000 tweets per second. I wonder what the YouTube upload rate now is. Remember,
Oh,
it used
man,
to be
it
like
used to be like
72 days
72
per hour.
hours
Yeah.
worth of stuff unloaded per hour. Yeah. So, I didn't even see that on here. And see here, the +1 button is hit at least 5 billion times per day. I'm gonna say that again. Number 14, the +1 button is hit at least 5 billion times per day. So I pose this question to our people listening and watching right now. Do you have a +1 button on your site? Do you have a +1 button on your posts that are being shared? Because I'm under the firm belief that +1 has some indirect effect with your SEO ranking.
Yep.
Kind of like a Facebook like or a Twitter follower, or even almost equivalent to a backlink.
Yep.
I'm the only one saying that right now, but I think that's going to come
More
fruition.
valuable than a backlink link.
And so I want to encourage you. If you
Well, it depends on who pluses you, right?
Yeah,
So now
exactly.
this is the next level. Before it used to be if a website pointed to you, that gave you credibility.
But if it was a more viable, more relevant website,
Then it had more value. So now you've got individuals. So you look at maybe a Danny Sullivan, right? If he's +1ing your page, and
happens to
Google's
be
like,
about SEO content, right? Something he's the specialist in.
his website may never point back to you, right? But he may +1 you, and that would have a
Yeah,
lot of
his
value.
authorship value +1 and you probably had more value than a link from search engine link.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, yeah, +1s, add those to your site. We've been kind of making it a standard process to include them next to Facebook likes. It's just that important. LinkedIn has over 3 million company pages with over 1 billion endorsements.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
The endorsements are kind of bogus, though. Right?
Yeah.
A friend of mine, he was like, "Yeah, I would connected. Usually, I don't connect with people unless I know that I'm going to do business with them or want to." And I ended up connecting with this guy, and then he endorsed me for my skill sets. And I'm like, I don't even know the dude.
And
Like,
we ain't done business, so you don't even know if I can do that.
Yeah, like that's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
It's a great. It was a great tool though for getting people engaged on LinkedIn.
It did, but they made it easy. Click. It was one click, and you could endorse 4 people. You know.
And then when somebody endorsed you, you got a notification to endorse them,
Yeah.
and so now you're interacting more. Really
Makes
good.
sense. Let's see here. 2,083 check-ins on Foursquare during every minute of every day.
What's that number again?
2,083.
check-ins.
So over
Okay.
2,000 Foursquare check-ins every minute.
So 6,000 during our podcast.
People are spending 1 out of every 7 minutes on Facebook.
Oh, while they're
While they're
online.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, while they're online.
Wow.
1 out of every 7. Sounds about right. I mean, when I do go through my post, I see people who post. You know, these posts are every 7 minutes apart.
Yep.
And so I could definitely see that. Let's see here. Oh, this is interesting. Twitch was one of the original name for Twitter, and then they decided to go with Twitter. They actually chose between Twitch, SMSC,
Right.
and then the not creepy at all Friend Stalker.
I've been friend stalked.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Twitch
here's-
would work.
Twitch would work. That's
yeah.
why I highlighted that one.
Yeah,
Twitch would have been
yeah.
kind of cool. Twitch? Yeah.
You've been twitched.
Exactly.
I'm twitching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, as long as they don't call it twerking.
Yeah. 91% of mobile internet access is for social activity,
Yep.
with 73% of smartphone owners accessing social networks through apps at least once a day.
Yep.
Yeah. So 3 out of 4 people get on some social network via an app. Makes sense. Number 20, Instagram already has more than 16 billion photos uploaded since debuting in 2010.
Billion photos.
16 billion.
So you can't upload photos from a workstation. Instagram is just take a picture and upload it.
It has to be mobile.
Has to be mobile. That's interesting.
5 million photos are uploaded daily
Wow.
to Instagram.
Wow.
And that makes sense, especially when you consider all of the textogram,
Yeah, it's replacing
the
texting,
videos,
right? Yeah.
and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. If social media companies were countries, followed by China, Facebook would be the world's most popular country with over 1.1 billion users. Google Plus, 693 million active users, that's up,
Yeah.
would be third, and Twitter at 554 million users. Wow, so G Plus has surpassed Twitter. Would be fourth, and that's ahead of both India and the United States.
G Plus is just going to keep getting
It's gonna keep growing.
stronger and stronger and stronger.
If you're not using G Plus, man, we preach it at least. We mention it at least once a podcast.
Yeah.
Like aside from our go to
G
G
Plus
Plus,
local, yeah.
and all that to get the reviews, like start plus one and start using your circles. Start if you're spending time making these posts, one every 7 minutes on Facebook. Take some time to get into G Plus and post and share your pictures and ideas there, because it's growing. Let's see here. YouTube has over 1 billion unique visitors per month, and now this is so per month, and reaches the coveted 18 to 34-year-old demographic more than any cable network.
Wow.
That's huge. 18 to 34, those are the people who are spending right now. Those are your movers, those are your shakers, those are the people who are getting conversions, those are the people leaving reviews, those are the people buying, those are your mobile commerce users.
And I just saw an article about the 10 most viewed, the 10 most viral videos, and they were all professionally. I think all of them were professionally produced. Right, so the days of pull your kid out of the dentist and film him in the backseat of the car and become a YouTube sensation are gone.
Yeah.
It is about production quality. You've seen the Van Damme split commercial. That kind of thing are the things that are going viral because it's high quality, it's great content. So
and it has to be easy to absorb and easy to look at. Kind of like music, right? I was telling some people in the studio recently that it doesn't matter how good the song is. If it's recorded bad and it doesn't sound good, then people are not going to listen.
Yeah.
Same thing with a great video concept. Your concept could be awesome, right? It could be extremely funny. But if the video quality is bad and it doesn't look well put together, then they're not going to watch it.
Yep.
And so, and it definitely won't go viral. Not anymore, something like that used to.
Yeah.
But so you have to start investing in that. And if you want to target people between the ages of 18 and 34, then YouTube is the place to do that at.
Yep.
Now this is interesting, and we're almost done. Number 23, the male versus female ratio of social media users is as follows. Facebook. Well, take a guess.
So Facebook, male versus female, I think it's
In percentages.
I think it's probably more women, but not by much more. So let's do 60-40.
On
women.
target. 60 female, 40% male.
Woo.
How about Twitter?
Twitter, mostly male. I'm going to go 70-30.
Wrong. Twitter, 60 female, 40% male.
Wow.
That was surprising to me as well.
Wow, okay.
Pinterest.
It also makes sense.
It makes
Pinterest,
perfect sense.
I'm going to say 70-30 women.
Close. 79 female, 21 male.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, G plus.
All right, G plus. That's got to be skewed. Come on, that's got to be the 60-40 men.
Actually 29% female, 71% male.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Last one, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Man, that should really parallel the I would think the employment population, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I'll say 70-30.
According to this, 55% female and 45% male.
So that tells me how out of touch I am with the percentage of women versus men in the workplace, because that should be reflective of in the workplace.
Yeah.
Wow.
So pretty cool stats, right? I think if you're doing any social media marketing and you have a certain gender that you target due to they maybe convert higher or they spend more money or whatever it is, these are the kind of numbers you need to know. If you're let's say a job and you're looking to hire an admin assistant and you're looking for a female, then LinkedIn is where you want to be looking at because you'll likely find them there. Let's say you are selling a product and your product caters to females. You maybe want to start tweeting that because there are more females on Twitter.
Yeah.
Things like that, and that way you can send it out, over and over again. So just things to consider. Except the fact that 46% of web users will look towards social media when making a purchase. I agree, especially if it's surrounding a review, right? So if I'm looking to make a purchase, I'll likely read the reviews first and then check social. What are my friends saying? What have people who have also used this?
Yeah,
said?
I'm trying to like, how do you check social on purchases unless you're kind of reaching out to
Unless
your
you're reaching out.
friends, right? That number seems high to me
46 does seem high.
because I've like never used social to confirm a purchase. Unless, and I would argue
unless
that,
you just bounced it out there, hey, anybody, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
and I've personally never done that. I've never seen anyone do it. I'm sure there are
Now,
people
I have
doing
seen it done. I've responded, hey, I tried that. You should try this sort of deal. And frankly, well, now he probably would have said reviews, but technically, Google review could be social.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
requires your profile. That
Yeah.
requires you to post a comment.
So
right?
okay, so
Same
that I
thing with the
believe.
Yelp.
That I believe 100%,
Yeah.
right? When you get a Google 6-pack A through G and it's got stars there and you're using that to make your decision, those stars are a social
Yeah.
component. Okay. And
So
then I think it's higher.
If it's that,
Yeah.
right? Then 46% is probably extremely low. Probably should be closer to 70.
Well, that'd be more related to like service purchases versus product purchases because product purchases aren't going to show a 6-pack.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So last one. How popular is social media? It's the most popular activity online, even more popular than porn.
No.
Well, I would think so, right?
It is. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you look at the number of people who are using it. New technologies used to be the best connection, if you will, to porn. So like when cable TV came out, woo, I can get porn in my house. When the DVDs, all of that stuff, and that was certainly true of the internet in the early days. And then it makes sense that it's gotten big enough that that now it's actually a communications tool as opposed to just a easier, faster, quicker way to get porn in your device, whatever your device is, mobile or otherwise. All right, do we have any what?
No.
No what? No what? All right, well, this has been.
You want to what to our weather?
Yeah, it's cold. Yeah, we could have like the segment. All right, you have been listening to. Did I convince you that I'm cold?
No, you didn't. I thought cold was burr. You did the Jetson sound. The little carpet, yeah.
All right, this is podcast number 217. You have been listening to the most popular internet marketing and SEO podcast on iTunes. That is because of all you all.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Please help us out. Go to the beginning of our podcast, follow some of those directions, our G Plus local page or a review on our Facebook page or just send us an email. Tiff to all of the people who did give us reviews. That's Shark Jacob and Adam Moffat.
And the face to you guys.
Tiff. And until the next podcast, my name is Chris Burris.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.